Alright, today we're doing a demo review for Muteyy, Amateur Medic. The things you mentioned were that you were struggling a bit with tracking Ubers, so I'll try to go into a bit of my mindset on that one, as well as just general positioning. This is on one of the new experimental maps. I don't know the map too well, so I won't be able to say too much on it. But hopefully we'll be able to kind of just have general things. Like one thing right away, when you walked up to the mid, you saw the soldier bomb up into the air. Typically, I just like to look at that guy for a little bit longer, because sometimes people are going to insta-bomb, come back down on you, and you had looked away from him, so if he had decided to commit, yeah, you have both your scouts here that should be able to kill him, but it's still possible he could get like a rocket off on you, and then like their demo chips you down. You just want to try avoiding that spam. But thankfully he didn't commit. This was kind of exactly what I was talking about, where you're looking at the people you're trying to heal rather than at the enemy, and that's something that a lot of medics run into. It's just that tunnel vision. Like, I think there were stickies on the ground that you just didn't see, and sometimes that's just gonna happen. But in general, especially on mid fights, try to make sure you're looking towards the enemy. This mid in particular, I was like having some trouble because like the vision from right here is actually garbage. So I think in general, it's just like making sure your camera's kind of facing this way, and then if you need to click someone, like, you shouldn't have to turn because your team should be in front of you. So you just quickly click on them and then get back to watching the enemy. You're doing the right thing by trying to leave here. Yeah, you just get out of it now. Okay, so right there, you lost your scout, started to leave, but then you tried to save your players. You're more important than all of those people, so once you have your scout, just take your scout and run. Like, that's your number one priority. You know that you're going to be chased there because you're down in pillars. And this is kind of just whatever. Like, they taking an Uber push into you guys. It's going to be pretty tough to defend. But somehow you do. You guys are the goats. Okay, that's another kind of important moment. You have to be careful at the end of every fight as a medic, because people are going to try to sell out and kill you. So just be mindful of that. Like, that soldier, he committed for the point, but he could have committed on you, and maybe he would have gotten the kill on you, just because you weren't expecting it, but always expect it. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, why I paused at this specific moment, their medic has just spawned. So now your Uber charge is 51%, 50%, whatever. So that means you have 50% Uber advantage. An Uber takes 40 seconds to build fully, so you know in 20 seconds you will have Uber, and then 20 seconds after that they will have Uber. So right when their medic spawns, you see, okay, we're at 51%. Look up at the map clock, which is 28:20 up here. So at 28 minutes left, you're going to have full Uber, and then at 27:40, that's when they're going to have Uber. So that's how you Uber track. You just know that it takes 40 seconds to fully build an Uber, and you know the difference in between your Uber and their Uber. So once you're at 100%, they're at 50. And from 50 to 100, it takes 20 seconds. So the timer has started at this point. You guys are building, you know you have Uber advantage, at least you should. This is good. Right at 80%, you're starting to kind of peek and prod. Buff up your soldier so he can get through the doorway. And here's this guy. I was just about to pause. If you have Uber advantage, always be watching for this soldier. That's your #1 priority. You know, your entire team, you're trying to bait this guy to come into you because he's trying to get the force. So for you and your teammates, particularly your scouts, you need to be getting in and counting soldiers. So you walk in, you see one soldier over here. Actually, let me go back a bit, just because it's the beginning of the review. Let's see what you can see. What we're looking for here is for you to be counting soldiers. So your team calls to get through. Alright, so right now you don't have vision of any soldiers. So for you, this is dangerous. You need to know where the soldiers are to be able to actually push through. This is like the first moment you're able to see the one soldier. I'm assuming probably like someone on your team should call like the one guy, but this scout here needs to be looking around for soldiers. And then the second soldier comes in. Good job walking forward, not getting separated from your scout. And you guys use. Alright, you got your kills, don't overextend. And now, remember that timer. 2740. They haven't been building that well, but if they were building well, they would have Uber right now. So at this point, you need to be passive. That's how you like avoid getting caught to the Uber. If you use your Uber, immediately start playing the disad if you don't kill their medic. Or like if you don't get players. They were down a couple players, so it would have been unlikely that they pushed. But so far this is good. You guys are playing passive. Like you should know it's disad here. Wow, their medic died. Alright, your soldier went ham. So for you, you're seeing I'm at 50%. That's not your ad. Your ad is going to be when their medic spawns. So at this point, their medic still hasn't spawned. You're at 70%. That's big Uber advantage. Another thing, when you're just beginning to count Ubers, you don't necessarily need to know the exact percentage. Something like seeing, oh, they spawned, we're at 70%. Like, that's nice to know, but just knowing if it's big Uber ad versus small Uber ad is going to be good enough, basically. Because if it's big Uber ad, you know you have a bit more time to play with, a bit more time to maybe get 2 points. But if it's small Uber ad, then typically, like, if the fight is drawn out, like, you got to be expecting an Uber exchange, or you're just taking an aggressive Uber into them, rather than, like, trying to milk. Alright, so I'm expecting you right now. You have ad. Remember on that last time you started pushing at 80? That's kind of what you still want to be doing. You don't necessarily want to be walking through the doorway at 80%, but you do want to be buffing your team. Like right now, your scout's building at 80%, stop building. Because if you look at the health of your team, like your flank scout's unbuffed, both of your soldiers are unbuffed, your demo's not even full health. So rather than building the last little bit of this, you can just get the Uber by buffing everyone. It's just as effective. That's actually like pretty important because like if you have big Uber, your soldier, your pocket soldier needs to be the one making space, because otherwise Like, this soldier, he's just going to be spamming you down. Like, their demo is going to be spamming you down, and the likelihood of you getting forced is higher. By making sure everyone is buffed, it's everyone else that has the health to take the attention away from you. And when you're on big Uber advantage, that's what you want to do. Alright, you guys take it aggressive into them. No demo or soldier on this one, so you're not getting anything. They don't have yet, so you don't need to completely get this up. But yeah, that's kind of it on that one. You dying there was just you stopped looking at them. Like, you just need to know like where they are. You knew that they were chasing in on you, so you know you have to expect like that you're going to get attacked.
We have lost the control point.
Alright. So their medic just spawned. You are at 10%. That's even Ubers. Like, nothing to worry about here with counting. So this should be going into a stalemate situation. So when it's stalemating, you know that their main goal is to force your Uber, so that's kind of just what you're going to be aware of. You guys killed their demo. Looks like your scout wants to exchange. This is a fine exchange if your team can get in. And this is more of a like team thing rather than you specifically. It's good to take the solo scout in there. Maybe a solo soldier would have been good as well. But the issue partially with this map, taking aggressive exchanges like that, you don't really have to do that. Because it's very difficult for your team to actually get in after the Uber. And typically how an Uber will go is, or an Uber exchange, I should say, is that both teams, you're going to be going in and using your Uber. And then after the Uber, what happens? Well, everyone on your team is going to collapse on the other team. And at the same time, they're going to be doing the same thing to you. So notice that after your Uber ended, because they were all right there, you guys are on the back foot. You're trying to get out of there. You're immediately getting like shot at by multiple players. Whereas since your team was not able to get in, these guys are just able to do this for free. And the likelihood of you dying here is actually pretty high. So taking the aggressive exchange, it's good there if you're able to follow up on it, which this is, again, map specific. I don't really think you were able to. Luckily, your flank goes huge and kind of rocks them, and then their demo feeds again. So, everything I just said, who knows what's going on? Alright, your pocket scout kind of just got rocked. That was kind of funny, but that's how it goes sometimes. Oh, another thing, pushing out of last, you have to be careful with those exchanges because you guys did have an engineer, so that's just one less player in the post fight. You guys kind of got lucky there, but now you know it's even Ubers again. Like, just make sure you're getting that last little bit of Uber. I really appreciate, well, okay. I was gonna say I really appreciate how you were staying on the high ground, like not walking up towards your people in Valley. Coming over here, I guess now that you have Uber, it's a little safe, so this is good. This is all well and fine. I just really hope you guys don't think you have ad here, because whenever you use Uber, you have to ask yourself 2 questions. Did they use Uber? And did their medic die? And I guess a third question of what was their Uber before? So in that previous exchange on the point, you knew that both medics used Ubers and neither medic died. So that's even Ubers right there. Because the situation, like, it didn't have any external factors to change it. But it seems you guys are kind of pressuring on your, like, you got picks, so you're pressuring off of that. When you are doing a situation like this, you know that they have Uber, you're trying to get the force, you as the defensive medic who is not, your team is doing the pressure, you're not getting pressured, you need to make sure that you are passive enough so that when they Uber, like you guys are pressuring for a force here, you want to maintain your advantage there. But you were getting like very aggressive in on them, but your team isn't trying to wipe them there because it is even Ubers. Whenever it's even Ubers, there's not a way to decisively win the fight. So what you're trying to do is create that advantage, get them to force first, maintain those extra seconds, and then you can play aggressive into them because you have Uber and they do not. And see like exactly what happens here. Because your team was so aggressive, you get forced and both your scouts are dead and the fight's kind of over. Whereas if your team had played it a little bit slower, kept that same amount of pressure, but just doing it in a safer way, when they use, your scout's close to you and you can just back up. And then if they come into you, you have that Uber still, you can just wipe them. But typically they'll be forced to back up because they know that you'll just wipe them. And that one was just a little unfortunate. Your team kind of all just fed right there. So not much to say there. After you guys got forced and you didn't have either of your scouts, it's probably just a move there. It felt like people were trying to salvage, whereas if those people lived, like you would have just been able to hold on second probably, but because people tried to salvage and it didn't work, well now you're on your last. Here's another situation. You died, their medic did not. You don't need, this is one of the hardest Ubers to track, is the exact amount of disad it is. And I don't really have any good tips for that. A lot of it is just kind of like vibes and feeling and knowing what you died at, or like knowing the length of your spawn, just like counting. But the most important thing is that you know that it is disad at all. And your team is not playing like it's disad. Like, okay, you just got the engineer now. They already had the Uber. Yeah, so you guys, it seems you weren't expecting their Uber, but you should know, you died, their medic lived, so they have Uber add on you. These are kind of the, there's not many situations for like tracking Ubers. It's just knowing like, did I live? Did their medic die? Did I die? Did their medic live? And then just knowing like when people are using. Alright, so I love this. This is great. You lived right there because you saw both those soldiers coming and you were able to play past it. This mid is like perfect and you guys wiped them because of it. That was great. I have no complaints there.
The control point is being captured.
Alright. And now you know you have full Uber ad because you just killed that
Secure
in
the
the
control
fight.
point.
You guys are walking in so deep. Your soldier asks, or your demo wants the bomb. You get the bomb. This is great. Minor nitpick here. Choose a side to end on. Your team is ending on the left. Their team is on the right. You are in no man's land right here. And I understand that both your scouts were here a second ago. But as the medic, you need to be a little bit safer. This is the same with something like snake water. If you end on the low ground, you're just going to get mulched. You typically always want to be choosing a side. Oh, nice arrow.
Alert. Our last control point is being captured.
You need to leave. This is not a fight worth taking for you. I'll say this again because it's happened a couple times now, but do not put your life at risk to save your teammates. Your life is more important than theirs.
Our control point is being captured.
Also, another situation. You used Uber on them and did not kill their medic, so you know they have ad on you. You don't need to know how much they have, just know to play passive. And it looks like you guys are backing up now, which is good. Alright, you get your Uber, so you guys can play aggressive again. Or not aggressive, but
The control point is being contested.
and their med drops. You use, that's a perfectly fine use there. Just don't drop anyone and you'll be good.
Alert. The final control point is being contested.
Nice. Alright, so we saw the last mid, you saw the two soldiers, you just saw one soldier go behind. So you as the medic, typically when this guy goes behind, he's kind of always going to be wanting to kill you. That's just, I don't know, soldier brain on that one. So you need to know this guy's behind. Where's the other soldier? You don't see him. That's fine. But typically that guy behind is trying to create a pinch. So just be ready for all of this pressure at once. Your team as a whole needs to decide how to handle people going behind. Do you send your flank to go kill that guy, or do you just go forward? My team generally opts to just ignore the guy, go forward, take a 6v5 against them, and wipe them. But because you guys do neither, your demo gets mulched,
The control point is being captured.
and you are going to get mulched as well, unless your scout goes huge.
Alert. Alert. The control point is being contested.
Yeah, you're going to last here. Don't like dilly-dally, like looking for your teammates. Assume they are dead.
We have lost the control point.
I'll say it again. Your life is more important than yours. And I'm saying these things not to like nitpick, but just to drive home the point to make sure you remember them and like recognize the situations where moments like that are happening. Alright, their medic died on mid. You did not. You have Uber ad. This is one of those moments where you probably weren't looking exactly at when their medic spawned. I know I wasn't, and frequently I don't. Ideally, you do want to see when their medic spawns after these mid fights, but like you were kind of running for your life and like there's a bunch going on, so it's an easy thing to miss. So that's one of those moments when you're not going to know the exact percentage that you have, but you know it's probably big ad So you can take like probably just like 1 point. And then you got caught not looking at the enemy there and got forced. Oh, don't get caught. Holy. This is another thing I've noticed a few times is your post-Uber positioning. When you're at 50% Uber remaining, that's when you need to start thinking about your post-Uber positioning. So start planning your escape,
Our
basically.
control point is being captured.
And that's how you'll avoid dying after Ubers. Alright, you know it is Disad because you used, and their med did not die. But you guys are playing aggressive. That is not good. They should be using into you and wiping you here.
Alert, alert.
You're
The control point
kind
is
of
being
trying to do
captured.
like a flank shove, but you're not fully committing to it. I'm not sure why your scout turned around. Second caps faster than mid. And it would have been fine if you guys stacked on second. Get out of there.
We have lost the control point.
Oh. Yeah, you're probably getting forced there every day of the week.
Alert. The control point is being
But anyway,
contested.
that was a bunch of team stuff. Whoever was main calling for you probably just misinterpreted that situation. But the bigger thing is, you guys were on Disad. You weren't really ready for it.
Alert. Our control point is being captured.
Their push went poorly. Guy came to salvage on you. It's a tale as old as time.
Alert. Our control point is being captured.
Coming out this left side, the vision is like awful. So it's kind of tough on medic. I've noticed a couple times I've played this map. But you always just have to be mindful that people really like salvaging on the medic. So at the end of fights, expect people to be shooting you. Alright, this is another even situation. They are pressuring. Your team is crumbling. Holy.
Alert. The control point is being captured.
Your guy needs to link up with you, and you need to get the Uber. 'Cause that's the only thing saving your round. You're 100% getting forced. Okay, good. You didn't use there. You've got kind of the counter force. This is gonna be tough. As the medic there, it's kind of your job to say, hey, everyone, we're on right side. Like, your heavy needed to come out on right, but he came out on the left, and he was isolated and completely alone. But it's your job to say, like, end the Uber on right. And the reason it's your job is because everyone else is focused on, like, shooting stuff. Like, your soldier was focused on trying to get the force. For you, there's not much really to do other than decide where to stand. And that's something, again, you start thinking about when you're at 50%.
Control point is being contested.
50% charge. Holy, you guys are going ham. Alright, you know their soldier's alive. Expect him to try to salvage on you.
Alert. The control point is being captured.
Run! Okay. I was really worried that guy was about to get a crazy air shot on you. Their medic just spawned.
We have
You have
secured the
50%
control
Uber.
point.
So 50% Uber. This is good again. You guys are pressuring at 80%. Be careful in situations like this. And the reason why is because they actually don't have to back up yet. They can just, they know you don't have Uber, so there's nothing forcing them to back up. They can hold these doors as hard as they can. They only have to back up once you get the Uber. Alright, the pack was missing. You're playing this a bit passive, which is fine,
Our control
because you
point
were
is
hurt.
being captured.
Trying not to get forced. Holy! Someone called they were super close. Your scout loves taking aggressive Ubers. If you're going to be taking those Ubers, you need your soldier demo with you. A single scout cannot chase everyone and get those. The only reason you got kills is because like your soldier and your scout really died for it. I guess you guys got a force though, or something. Their medic is low charge. I don't know how that happened. And you are building much better. Which you shouldn't know that. Holy. Alright, well, that's just gonna happen sometimes. You need to be passive in doorways and wait for people to call that it's true. It seems that your pocket scout in particular really likes to play aggressively and probably wants you healing him all of the time.
The control point is being contested.
But he needs to, how do I say this? It's not that he can't play aggressively, that's fine, but he needs to ensure that you're able to stay safe when he's doing it. And what that means is like, he gets through the doorways, he checks for stickies, he checks for soldiers. Like, he's just not like Wing the whole game. Like if you look at someone like Banny, he's constantly maintaining that perfect amount of distance where he's able to play aggressive into the enemy and get damage on them while not just completely running away from his medic and forcing his medic to like chase him. Or if he's doing that, he has like a good reason to do it and he gives his medic ample like warning of it. Whereas you, it seems like you're like just a step behind your scout. And that's not on you or your scout, it's just like okay, so this is a moment that I will actually go back and talk about. Because I was talking about some other stuff, but I was noticing the situation leading up to this. Okay, so this is a very, very important moment. You're about to have Uber. I think these Ubers should technically be even, but I think their medic hasn't been building that correctly. But most importantly, you guys just got pressured out of a point, and your whole team is done. So, in your mind, your Uber is the only thing stopping them from winning the round. You still have 2 players that are dead. So what you're trying to do in a situation like this is use your Uber to delay for your players to spawn again. It's called a defensive Uber exchange. So these are moments when the rest of your team needs to survive. You need to take someone, either your scout or your soldier, depending on the situation, and use your Uber to force their Uber. And then the idea is that if you're taking solo Ubers, that takes 8 seconds. That's how long the Uber lasts. And your teammates, they're spawning in 7 seconds. So the idea is that after the Uber, you reset on this right side, or whichever side you end up on, and your team, they're alive. So then it's just a 6v6 fight. Rather than right now, where what they are trying to do is use their 2-player advantage to force your Uber and potentially win the round. So, in summary, defensive exchange, use your Uber to force their Uber, because you need something more than just... Like, you don't have players. Like, this soldier, yeah, he could bomb in and force their Uber, but then they have a 3-player ad. And as they say in the business, 2 players, it's more valuable than an Uber. So if you get 2 kills with an Uber, it's good. So if they got forced immediately and killed your soldier, that's technically, you can say 3 kills for the Uber. So their Uber is worth it. And then you're going to get forced anyways because you're down 3 players, and they're just going to win the round. So let's kind of watch what happens. So your soldier does bomb in. He dies. He doesn't even get the force because he bombed in when you were down 2. And then you guys get forced after dropping a scout too. So now, sure, these guys are spawning in 1 second, but these other dudes, they have 17-second spawns. An Uber's only 8 seconds, so by now it's too late to do the exchange.
Control point is being contested. Alert. All out control point is being captured.
Alright.
Alert. The final control point is being contested.
So, yeah, this is just...
Alert. All out control point is being captured.
It's somehow going perfect.
Alert. The final control point is being contested.
Okay, they're medic. Yeah, I mean, at that point, you're just, like, trying to salvage. That was unfortunate. It definitely could have went your way on that. But the key thing was your team needs to realize that they cannot die until both of the Ubers are over. And then, like I said before, with the Uber exchange, once it's like a 6v6, both teams are trying to collapse on each other, and the idea is that hopefully your collapse is better than theirs, because like you're the defensive team. Remember when you were pushing out of last, they were all set up as the defensive team, so your team wasn't able to participate in the collapse. It's kind of that same idea, in that the defensive team, they just have a slight advantage on that collapse. It's a little bit different, like, because some of your players are coming out of spawn and like they might have a lot of space, but that's the idea. Alright, you kind of just like ate that rocket, which forced you to play passive when your team went in. That's fine. I mean, I'm not gonna nitpick that too bad. However, I will nitpick this running away. Know when the mid is lost. You basically never entered the mid fight, and your team was kind of dying one by one. So just run. Like, there's no point in staying if the mid isn't like clearly won. Even like here on second, like there's not really a reason to stay with just your soldier. They have positioning. There's some idea of taking an exchange here, but I don't know. My team does that all the time and it never works for us. Once you've lost the positioning, the exchange is bad. Alright. Another moment. They've killed a guy, but you both have Uber. So because they have a player advantage, they're trying to force your Uber, where you're trying to delay to get your players back. So you could actually do an exchange here if their medic commits, but it doesn't look like their medic is committing, and their soldier kind of just sacks, so this is all good. You get 2, so it looks like you're trying to exchange. I totally get it coming out of this last. There's small doorways and you think you're gonna get forced anyway, but they're down a soldier and down a demo. That's a lot of spam power that they're not going to have. even if you don't push out, at the very least, like, you might be able to have like your roamer counter sack into them and get the force. So I don't really like the exchange in this specific situation. If this is what you're going for, because like, remember, you as the team or them, whichever team has the player advantage, typically you don't want to be initiating the exchange. You want to be using your player advantage to make them Uber first and then have a better Uber. And they are trying to use their Uber to delay until their spawners can get here.
Alert. The control point is being captured.
Alright.
Alert. Our control point is being captured.
And your team kind of feeds after that. Someone should have called that, like, no collapse was happening, so everyone needs to...
Alert. Our control point is being captured.
Yeah, so that one's pretty obvious to me. You had a demo and a soldier pick. Like, demo and a scout, it's a little more iffy. But soldier and a scout, it's a little more iffy. Demo and a scout, or demo and a soldier, excuse me. That's just so much lost, like, spam potential for them that you just want to, like, pressure. And it's not always going to work. But that's the idea. Alright, so you guys killed their medic super early, but it took both of your soldiers to do it. Your scouts right here are in a box. After you kill their medic, you make the call, like, ball up, play heals. Everyone comes around you. Kills are not important. Like, this guy, he's important once he comes in and starts shooting at you. But imagine both your scouts are looking at this guy, and then, like, a scout comes out of nowhere and just, like, shoots you in the side. Which, given I only see one of these scouts, I think that's a scout, I'm kind of worried. Oh, there's the other one. Okay, so you do see, well, I see all 4 players, but expect all 4 of these players to be trying to kill you, so your team needs to group up around you to make sure that you don't die.
Alert. The control point is being contested.
And this is, like, pretty good. You're playing passive. Your demo kind of got isolated, but it looks like you won a 1v1 against the scout. He's the goat.
The control point is being captured.
So this is fine. Alright, and now the mid-fight's over. You ask yourself, did their medic die? Yes? Alright, that means that we have... And if you asked it a little earlier, you would have seen when he spawned, and you would know exactly how much it is. Alright, get a soldier in on this. This should be huge. Nice. Yeah, that was great. You guys brought a soldier into it and actually, like, got kills. You got kills and your team didn't wipe for it. I think your scout got flank shoved, which, like, that's the correct thing to do for them. But, yeah, that was what I would call textbook. Alright, and I think this round is the last round, so hopefully it goes pretty well.
Yeah, thanks, Doc.
Small nitpick, your team is going forward playing aggressively. Typically you want to be healing your scouts in those instances. Like, I think you were healing your demo, which your demo wasn't really getting shot at. Yeah, it's just like,
Alert. The control
at the
point is
very
being
beginning
contested.
of a mid-fight, you like are buffing up your soldiers as best you can, healing your demo. But then after that, you pretty much want to be putting your heals only into scouts. I haven't really been looking at that for other mid fights. That's a big collapse. But yeah, in general, healing scouts on mid fights very strong. Holy! What a force that scout did. Okay, so I'm kind of expecting you guys to just lose here. I don't know why you're still trying to push. You were down a demo. Oh my god, your soldier needs to back up. Please, please, your demo needs to live. Okay.
We have lost the control point.
This is kind of lying. I guess I don't have much to say on that. I'm very glad that you did not, like, overcommit and just die, because if you die, you lose the round. Alright, so they took an Uber, saved players. There's no reason not to use it. Like, they are pushing in. They think it's ad, I guess. It was not. But because you took so long to use, they got 2 kills. And like I said, 2 kills is better than an Uber. So you made their Uber worth it by not saving your players. That's all I'll say about that. Oh, a soldier out of nowhere. Yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say about that. Like, if it's even Ubers, you guys can't lose players as the defensive side. Wait, you're holding it? Holy. Oh, does the scout? Oh, no. Your demo dead. Well, so it goes sometimes. I guess there's still a couple minutes left on this one. But the logs in the demo said it was 4-2, so I'm assuming this one stalemates out. Ah, this is perfect. Still a little fast. Notice how you were playing so much more aggressive, like with your team, actually like kind of healing them, and your team was living because of it. Like, that's great. That's what I want to see.
We have captured the control point.
And I did have this thought about how earlier I was telling you kind of not to play aggressive. And there's a bit of nuance in the differences between these situations. That if it's not obvious, basically because this is a mid fight and like it's your team as a whole being aggressive because you spotted some like disadvantages on their side, that makes it okay. If it's a moment like this where yes, you have a player advantage, but it's only a 1 player advantage, it's only an extra scout, this is a moment where you don't necessarily want to be playing aggressive. Feel good. So in mid fights in general, it's like fine. Yeah, like right there. I kind of had a feeling something like that was going to happen. Delay in the doorway, a little back from the doorway, wait for your scout to get through, and ideally your pocket soldier as well to make space. Wait for them to call it's okay, and then you can come through. If your team isn't doing that as the medic, like, you can train them, maybe not if you have a match tonight, But you can train them. Just be like, is it okay to come through? Straight up ask them that. And if they don't answer, like refuse to come through and just tell them I told you to do that.
Alert. The control point is being captured.
I don't know if this is exactly true, but I think in general playing aggressive through doorways is just very risky.
Alert. The control point
At
is
least
being
like
contested.
without a big like positioning advantage or whatever to do with it. Okay, so
That's the control point.
both meds lived on mid, but then you died immediately after. So that means that their medic lived and he has Uber.
Alert. Our control point is being captured. We have lost the control point.
I'm very curious to look at the heal spread on your team. It feels like you never buff your flank. Alright. They have Uber. You guys are... Oh, you got your Uber. Okay. So this is good. You're down a player. You're trying to delay as long as possible. This guy cannot die. It looks like he is about to. But you're trying to delay as long as possible. Oh, and I think your heavy's about to die too. To get your spawners back. Alright, your heavy died. Holy. Okay, you got forced. You were kind of aggressive on the point. It might have been a little unclear if like your scout was calling for exchanges. But somehow you guys end up.
You failed.
Your post Uber fights on last are actually like pretty decent. It's just like a lot of in between stuff where people are just like feeding after a fight's already lost. You just kind of trickle, like keep losing people. But before I summarize, I am gonna tab out real quick. Oh, you can see this. All right, I think that's fine. I had this pulled up. I wanted to pull up. Is it this one? Yeah. Yes, 30% to your scout. Okay, that's kind of what my expectation was. Let me pull up. Let me pull up myself. I don't know if this is good. Yeah. So this one, like, the demos, like, still a bit high on this one, but this is essentially what it should look like. Probably some of these demo heals need to go into the flank. But that just, like, looking at yours shows to me a lot of what I saw, where it was your scout kind of Wing and you trying to follow him. Like, your demo's not able to keep up, which is why, like, what was his DTM? Okay, wait, your demo actually had... No, your demo's the other one. Yeah, the red demo. Your demo had... Okay, it is in order of DTM. I want to see what it is typically for mine. Yeah, for mine, like, soldier and demo, like, your scout... This is my pocket scout. Like, his DTM's at the bottom, whereas your pocket scout is at the top. Yes, he went 37 and 20 because he got 30% heals. Like, objectively, he played very well. but it's putting your team into weird spots. Your team's not really able to play around that kind of play style just because scouts are faster than everyone. And maybe that's a bit of a team decision, but from the medic point of view, it makes it a lot more difficult because you're walking into dangerous areas rather than taking things a bit more methodical. And a lot of the time, what was happening to you guys is you would take these very aggressive, dangerous, low probability fights, and because they're low probability, like you would end up losing a player or two. And then on the back foot, you're trying to run away, you'd end up losing one more or two. So you would end up losing multiple points at a time, all because you're trying to do too much. Just take what you're given and use that. Don't try to create something out of nothing, if that makes sense. And that's something that it's just going to take a lot of practice. So back to TF2. What are the main takeaways for you? Spread your heals around a little bit more. Yeah, your flank scout needs to get more heals. What else? Prioritize your life over your teammates. Uber tracking, honestly, like I didn't see anything too like crazy. You didn't get caught out on any Ubers. Like I maybe would have preferred a few times for you to be playing a bit more like passive at certain points, but it was fine for the most part. Think about your post Uber positioning. That's a big one. I think that those are the main things. More of a team thing is the whole like concept of the Uber exchanges. It feels like it's not quite correct based on what I saw. So maybe that one just needs to be gone through with like a team as a whole. But yeah, I think that is all I have for you. So hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions, you know where to reach me. And good luck in any of your future matches. Okay, bye.